President Salinas has a trade mission to Japan the month after the vote on NAFTA. If we don't take this deal, you can bet that Japan will try to take this deal. They'll be in there in a New York minute. Europe will try to get this deal. They are concerned about us taking this deal. Listen, Larry, we ought to thank our lucky stars that the Mexican people have had the vision and courage to strike out on the American path toward the ideas of Thomas Jefferson, toward democracy, toward free markets. And now they just want to know, can we take yes for an answer?
In the interest of time, Ross, are there things about this treaty you like?
Oh, sure, but here's the Honda deal.
Is there anything about it?
Folks, as they say, it's in the book. There's the Honda deal. Here is the Tennessee
Al,
whiskey
is there anything
deal.
about the deal you don't like?
Now, stay with me 1 second. Here is the deal on Tennessee whiskey. Only in the state of Tennessee. Authorized to produce only in the state of Tennessee.
No.
This is foreign lobbying big time. This is what's wrong with our country. This is what you and I will clear up through government reform.
That's protection of a brand name. I mean, that's protection of a brand name. One of the things about this treaty is it protects intellectual property.
Why just that brand name?
Well, it's not just that brand name. If you look at the line above it, it says bourbon whiskey. Right? That doesn't have, that's not a brand name.
And Tennessee whiskey.
And Tennessee whiskey.
Authorized to produce only in the state of Tennessee.
No, but that refers to the other one. It deals with all bourbon.
Caught in the middle of the act, folks.
I think bourbon is on.
No place to run, no place to hide. Okay.
Is there anything about...
Excuse me. Just so you're clear about that, those are brand names. And one of the things we've been trying to get in our trade dealings with other countries is protection for what's called intellectual property. And it's a good thing, too, because Mexicans now prefer U.S. brand name products. That's why they're going in and out of that Walmart so fast.
All right, there's a 6-month out if it's turned down, right?
Yeah. Now let's talk about that for a minute. If I'm wrong and he's right, then you give 6 months notice and you're out of it.
Ross, what's wrong with that?
Now, here's the way we get out of it. If the House of Representatives lets this go through, the whole House of Representatives is running in 1994 and a third of the Senate. We got a little song we sang. We'll remember in November when we step into that little booth. If we have to, we the people, the owners of this country, we'll clean this mess up in Washington in 94.
Are you saying you will?
And we'll make sure that we put the 6-month tail on this thing in 1995. And if you think these guys will, you believe in the tooth fairy.
Well, Ross, are you saying that you're going to work against congressmen who vote for it? I'm
not. Our people are really angry about this. Working people all across the United States are extremely angry. There is no way to stop them. They are not going to tolerate having their jobs continue to be shipped all over the world. We've got to have a climate in this country where we can create jobs in the good old USA.
Okay,
that is one thing that the President and Vice President could do for us, and they're not.
Excuse me. I'd like to say something about that, because that's a direct political threat against anybody who votes for this. This is a choice between the politics of fear and the politics of hope. It's a choice between the past and the future. It's a choice between pessimism and optimism. It's a choice between the status quo, leave things as they are, enact new tariffs on Mexico and I don't know who else, or move forward into the future with confidence. We're not scared. We're not a nation of quitters. We're not a nation that is afraid to compete in the world marketplace. And when we face a choice as important as this one, it is extremely important that we make the right decision. This is a fork in the road. The whole world is watching.
What's going to happen in 8 days?
I love the way these guys turn around on a dime. They've been out making speeches that everybody ought to get a depression check every time they get their eyes checked or their glasses checked, and the president's made a stream of speeches telling us how insecure we are. Now suddenly they figured out that we are a strong, proud people, and we are not going to let this trade agreement go through and create further damage to this great country. Let me make sure I say this before we go off the air tonight. I'll give you one reason that will just stick why we can't continue to do these agreements. If we keep shipping our manufacturing jobs across the border and around the world and deindustrializing our country, we will not be able to defend this great country, and that is a risk we will never take.
He started off as head of United We Stand. I'm afraid he's going to end up as head of Divided We Fall. Everything that he is worried about will get worse if NAFTA is defeated. We want jobs for America's working men and women. We want to get rid of the barriers that have prevented us from selling what we make in other countries. This is an historic opportunity to do that.
Thank you both for this historic evening. The vote in Congress is 8 days away. You'll be hearing lots more about it. Thanks to Ross Perot and Vice President Al Gore, for everyone here at Larry King Live, and for the superb staff that put this all together. The best in the business. Thanks for joining us, and good night.